What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. This is the new space that I'm going to be moving into. It's still in Oakland, which is near home for me. This space is actually pretty interesting. It's like 10,000 to 12,000 square feet. This building is half brand new, half old. Looks like half of the building burned down in a fire, so they replaced this half of the building. Looks like the pillars and columns are new on this side, and on this side they're older, so that is interesting. There's a lot of room here. I only need around 4,000 square feet to operate my business, which means that over half of this will be completely empty. And I'm kind of okay with that. I don't need that extra space, but it does give me room to grow in case I do want to grow. This building is not sprinklered, which means I can't go too high. It is interesting though, the way that this is set up, because it is brand new. There's no lights on right now. This is just the natural lights from outside. So it does have fantastic natural lighting. A lot of tire marks in here, so it looks like there's probably some giant forklifts in here moving stuff around. But the ceilings are quite high. I would say the ceilings are probably 25 feet high. So if I wanted to, I could set up a basketball court in here, which is kind of funny, but I don't think I would necessarily do that. I was just thinking of things that I could do with this space, because in theory, I don't even need this half of the warehouse. It could be completely open. Behind here is this giant roll-up door, which I'm probably not going to use. I'm not going to disclose the location of my warehouse, and I don't want anybody looking in. So I'll probably just leave these doors closed permanently, never show people what I'm doing outside. And that way I can just, for the security of my staff and the stuff in here, don't have to reveal our exact location. And for a lot of people who are reselling, I do recommend you get a separate PO box. So all the return mail will not come here. A lot of people send our workers snacks or gifts. I'm going to have that go to a PO box, not this location. This location will just be for streaming and also getting stuff in. There's a lot of opportunity here to potentially do some kind of reseller space. So since I'm only using like 40% of it, this could be some kind of reseller nirvana paradise. I could set up like the largest eBay store in the world on this side, because I don't think with ceilings this high, I could easily store 250,000 items for an eBay store here, which is kind of wild. So if I ended up doing that idea that a lot of people talked about, which is like a reseller workspace where, let's say, I like to do things with the flow. So if you came in this door and you dropped off your inventory into the prep testing area, this whole area was prepping, testing, cleaning, washing machines. I have commercial plugs here for heavy power if we want to use a giant washing machine or something, but could prep all the items here, photograph and list all the items here, and then store literally 250,000 items in here, every single category. I could be a third-party fulfillment center for eBay sellers, essentially like, you know how Uber is the largest taxi car company in the world, but they don't have any cars? I could do the largest eBay store in the world, but not have an account, right? Just people come in here, they drop their stuff off, gets photographed, listed, stored, shipped out. And I don't know, honestly, what I'm gonna do with half the space, because I don't need that much room. So maybe let me know in the comment section below what I should do with the space. Over here, the reason why I wanna use this part of the space is because it has 2 bathrooms. It has 3 offices. There's a lot of really good roll-up doors here that have better accessibility. So I definitely might use those doors. I'm gonna use these doors for coming in and out and for pickups, deliveries. Not gonna use the other doors, but this section is just near, it's like centrally located. So I think I'm gonna keep my entire whatnot operation in just this half of the building. The rooms are somewhat echoey. I wonder if we put inventory and stuff in there, if that'll be enough sound dampening, or I need to actually go in there and soundproof those rooms. So I'm not sure what to do there. Something interesting is above these offices right here, there is a space, and this building, I know the owner. So I know I could actually work up there. I could set up a ladder and have my office be above. And if you guys look at a lot of offices, they have a loft above where there's like a lounge area, you can see the whole operation. So maybe up there, I have an area where I work, and I wanna have an area where I can record a podcast. Maybe the podcast studio will be on top there with the background of the warehouse and everything going on in the back. I really, really, really like my crew, so I'm not gonna be hiring or growing too much in the beginning. I'm gonna let everybody settle in, everybody get to know each other and make it all calm. I really like everyone that works here. I do have people who are gonna be working overnight already. Thank you so much for all the recommendations and referrals. I got a good amount of people who work here came from YouTube. So very cool that you guys referred people that knew or came here. A couple of people moved here. So it's exciting to see what it's like that. This area is very dangerous. There's a lot of crime. So it's like making sure that everyone here is as safe as possible was priority number one for me. We redid the fence, which was very expensive. The alarm system is going to come in here. And it's very interesting. When you're doing a commercial lease like this, you're really, at least for me, I'm working really in tandem with the owner. So it's not like a storage unit where like everybody's just a number. This is just a person that owns this building and I'm working with them directly. So all the improvements that I might need, I would go through them. He's very, very reasonable. He'll split things for me that I want. The only thing that he doesn't want to go halvesies on is the security system, because he's like, that has nothing to do with me. The security system is for you. It's going to be built for your needs, so I'm not going to chip in for that. But the fence, that's something we both use. There is this step right here, which is not normal and kind of inconvenient and a bit of a safety hazard, because people could trip walking up this. There is this little ramp right here, which is kind of interesting. So my forklift is going to be driving up and down this to move inventory around. But that is the only thing. And he told me he would split it with me if I want to grade this down like a ramp and make it all somewhat flat. I don't know if I'm going to do that. We do need to install an ADA entrance for American Disabilities Act. So that's why I haven't moved in already. This space has been ready for a long time. There's no ADA door accessibility with that. So they're installing that. I'm waiting on the city to go through the permitting process. Once that's done, I can move in. But I'm excited to try this whole new space, excited to see what people are looking for. I have been working with enough space for maybe like 6 months now. I've had plenty of space. Very, very different business. And honestly, this space is a very, very, very small percentage of my sales. Most of my expenses come from cost of goods, the inventory cost, and also the staff. And the fees. Fees, staff, and inventory is a huge, huge chunk of the revenue. The actual building cost is quite low. Also, when you get a building, there are other fees like CAMs, which is common area maintenance. So I might be paying part of the property tax, part of the maintenance, upkeep of the building. I'm in charge of that. Normally in my other building, I was splitting it with 40 other people. At this building, since I'm the only tenant, I'm basically footing the bill for everything. And that's why the landlord was willing to work with me and like splitting the bill on different things, because he's in it for the long run. The landlord owns the building outright, so there's no payments. So it's kind of interesting. Like all the money I pay for rent goes straight into his pocket, minus the maintenance of this building. So there's really, really good lighting every single place in this area. And I really like the skylights. I think that gives this place a really homey vibe. It's not as cool as my last space, because my last space, Watch Your Step, had wood floors and had a lot of character. But it looks like they repainted all the walls. They repainted all the walls for me. And so maybe I use this backdrop as my stream and I set up different sets along the way. Or maybe I use the rooms in the back as offices, use those for streaming. But I have so much room here. This is where I was thinking about putting the basketball hoop, because, you know, it'd be cool having a basketball hoop in here. And also maybe an archery range would be pretty sick here. And it's kind of crazy because this is about 100 feet by 100 feet. And that's like 30 meters. So I can barely see that far. I don't know how to hit a bullseye. So this whole area has a lower ceiling height than this one. The new area has a much higher ceiling, which is interesting. So I can definitely, there's different uses for each space, and pretty excited to move in here, check it out. When you get a commercial lease, landlords are looking for 3, 5, or 10-year commitments, which is also not something I'm used to. My last lease is only 1 year. My warehouse in Hayward is only month to month. So this is different for me because it's a longer lease, much longer lease. So you guys know me, I'm always like trying to grow and push myself, but because I'm stuck here for a long time, maybe I'll just try to make the most with one specific space. And that's how I first started reselling at home. Trying to make as much as you can before you move to the next space. But this is already pretty huge. I don't know if I'm gonna go from here to something even bigger, but I do tell you that I really, really like this space. I like it more than my other space. I liked my warehouse more than my storage unit. I like my storage unit more than home. Each time it grows, I enjoy it more. I have no problem employing people. I think that a lot of people are worried about hiring people, but I feel like with the proper expectations, hiring people was the best thing I've ever done. I love being able to provide jobs. That's a huge thing for me. So right now, I'm I cannot believe a lot of people who work for me support themselves based on the income I pay them in California. I'm really proud of myself for doing that. So appreciate you guys. I'm gonna walk you through this whole build out. And until next time, make progress daily.